Good evening, everybody. This is Lady Rage on Venus Geek Radio. Tonight we are geeking on with Chaz, Mike, Travis, and Vance. Everybody want to say hi?
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's down, people?
So who wants to start off tonight with the first topic? Oh, shoot, that's me. Geeking on.
I mean, you know, this Deadpool shirt right here.
There is Deadpool coming up. February?
Deadpool comes out February 12th, 2016. Ryan Reynolds.
Valentine's Day, perfect. Take your date to see Deadpool.
Oh yeah, early. Just go early. Go on the 11th, then go see it on the 12th, and then go see it on the 14th again.
And since everybody's showing off their nerd shirts, here.
Well, what did you think? What did you think of the trailer, man? Did it live up to the hype? Do you think it's going to be awesome? Do you think it's going to be better than the
yeah. Most definitely. It's going to solidify Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and you're going to forget about him ever playing Green Lantern or Brockapool. You're going to forget all about that.
See, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, like, they'll sit there and over the past year, a couple of years, they've talked trash. Oh, Ryan Reynolds sucks. Ryan Reynolds isn't a good actor. He can't do this or that. I think honestly, this movie's going to be one of those movies where, they kind of eat their words, kind of like with the whole Ben Affleck Batman thing. I think 2016 is going to be just a real great movie year for all of us, where it's going to break expectations with. Deadpool coming out, with Captain America coming out, with Batman v Superman.
Civil War, yep.
X-Men. And it's, you've got...
X-Men, no, we're not, let's not talk about X-Men. X-Men is going to be garbage, man. Apocalypse looks like Ivan Ooze. Apocalypse looks like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers.
He does, but I'm not going to hold the whole movie responsible because they don't know what Apocalypse looks like.
Okay, I'm holding the whole studio responsible. It's Fox. They just sat up here and released Fantastic Four. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Here. First off, before we go to Fantastic Four, here's the thing about X-Men. The whole thing with Apocalypse is, like, here's one of the best villains that you could possibly have in a movie franchise. And when you go to comic conventions and you see cosplayers that are cosplaying as better Apocalypses, and then you see this... I don't know who Ivan Ooze is. I've heard people talk about it. I didn't watch Power Rangers or whatever, so I don't know who Ivan Ooze is. But when I saw this, and I'm like, who the hell is that? If that's my first reaction at your picture, you have failed as a job, especially when you have more money with what you're doing than these cosplayers have. So you have failed as your job. And I'm sure the actor's fine. I'm sure the movie will be just great. But in my mind, you failed. Because I don't know what you're trying to sell me. And so in my mind, I'll look at that, I'm like, is that Apocalypse? I don't know, I don't care, it looks weird, I don't know, whatever. So
Apocalypse looks like he has dreadlocks.
Right? Like, what the hell is that? Like, the guy doesn't look powerful, and some people say, oh, well, he's going to grow and become Apocalypse, and he might be are you sure? Because I don't know. Because I don't even know what the hell that is.
He's the world's first mutant. He's had, 1,000 years to grow his hair out and shave and stuff? I mean, he looked better in the cartoon. Like, I grew up with the 90s cartoon. I was the 90s X-Men, 90s Spider-Man, all those awesome cartoons. He looked awesome in the cartoon.
Yep.
And I still watch the cartoon. The cartoon's amazing.
Well, the thing about Apocalypse is imposing, he's powerful, he's menacing, and your first picture to me to sell me on this should be something imposing, like, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to destroy everything in my path. And when I saw this, I was like, ew. And that...
So, all right, seeing as we're talking about, forces that are imposing and powerful and everything like that, did you really think Ultron, when they designed Ultron, he was, like, menacing and,
What's that?
Like when you first saw Ultron, did you really think he was like menacing and?
honestly, like, I liked the movie. I liked the team aspect of the movie. I thought Ultron was the one thing that didn't fit with the movie. I like James Spader as an actor. I think he's got a lot of charisma as an actor. He's actually one of my favorite actors from watching Boston Legal. I think the guy's a great actor. His voice is one of the best things about him. He's got a presence about him. And I've heard from a lot of comic book fans that Ultron is just a great presence. So I thought you've got James Spader, which is great. You've got Ultron, which is great. And then I go into the movie thinking he's just going to kick so much ass and it's going to be great. And I watched the movie, and I think my expectations were up here, and I think the movie was just down here. I liked the movie, I liked the team aspect, but I thought Ultron was just one of those things that just didn't fit. I like what they tried to do, I just don't think they executed it properly. So, no, I don't think it really worked. I thought the movie was fine, but not as a villain. And I think that's where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is failing, is in the bad guy area, the villain. Villains are always weakest. Where I think that's where DC is going to kind of knock it out of the park, is where, you know, especially with the Suicide Squad movie coming out, like, they've got all these villains that are a lot more rich in their characters. That was one of the problems with the Fantastic Four movie that I just saw, was Victor Von Doom, a very rich character, and they dropped the ball with this. This guy was very pathetic in his motivations in the movie, and it's like, you have your characters are just as rich. Why aren't you doing anything with them? Now the heroes are rich, but the villains, with Ultron, they dropped the ball with it. You know, he should have been killing Avengers left and right. He should have been physically destroying them within an inch of their life, and he just wasn't physically as imposing as that.
But I see that more as, like, that's just not the Marvel movies, the DC movies. I've noticed this, like, I'm Marvel. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Marvel. It's just, to me, overall, minus, like, the Batmans and the Supermans, because those are always going to be the top superheroes. I think overall. If you look at the Marvel Universe, comics-wise, TV, cartoons, whatever, versus the DC Universe, you're going to see that the Marvel has the better superheroes and the better superhero motivations. DC's got the better villains.
Yeah.
Overall. I mean, granted, you got Doctor Doom, you got Apocalypse, you got really amazing villains in Marvel overall, but then look at all the if you could name more villains from Marvel or DC, like if you put I hate to do the versus thing because fanboys are going to fanboy, but if you put the Marvel villains versus the DC villains, and you take out Doom, Thanos, and Apocalypse out of the equation, what's going to happen?
You got Darkseid in DC, man.
Right, that's like, but I'm just saying, you got
Darkseid's
Darkseid,
DC,
you got Joker, you got Sinestro, you have Zoom. Like, my favorite villain in The Flash is actually Grodd. All these amazing villains, you go over to the Marvel side, you put them in a battle, but you don't give Marvel Doom, Thanos, or Apocalypse. DC's villains are just going to wipe the floor with it.
Well, actually, because when it comes down to, like, Marvel villains, like, if you take out Apocalypse, Thanos, and Doom, you're pretty much left with Dormammu. You're left with, let's see here. You wanna go, like, tit for tat with that. You got Dormammu, you have Taskmaster, you have let me just give you a third one, which would be.
Oh, you got Loki too.
Well, yeah, you got Loki, but Loki kind of is. I wouldn't say Loki really counts in the playing of an aspect of an actual, like, because you took out Thanos, who just kills everything. I mean, you can throw in, like, Galactus in there. For real, if you want to get, like, that way, you can throw in Galactus in there.
Yeah, but
True.
Galactus has been pretty easy to beat overall. He's been beaten several times. Or, like, the Fantastic Four beat him by themselves.
When you talk about big villains, though, Loki really he isn't really like a big giant threat. It wasn't until the Marvel Avengers movie that he was a threat. I mean, he was in the but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't until the success of the Marvel movies that he actually became to the forefront of the success of the Marvel universe. Or I mean, until the villain wise. So I mean, when you have to look at it in perspective, popularity doesn't mean a big grade A villain. I mean,
I mean,
look
you
at
could even throw
Aquaman.
like Red. You could throw Red Skull in there too if you wanted to.
Right, right. I mean, look at power levels. I mean, if you're talking power levels, in hero-wise, in the DC universe, Aquaman is one of the most powerful people in the DC universe. But popularity-wise, he's not very popular.
Mm-mm.
I
He can
think
go toe to toe with
No,
Superman.
right.
he could fly.
What's that?
Apparently, Aquaman can fly in space. Remember the Justice Friends?
Heck yeah, man. That's what's up right there, man. Woo, 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 woo.
Justice Friend, like,
Aquaman, like if I've never seen the actual animated movie, but if you guys have ever read Flashpoint, Aquaman was amazing in Flashpoint, the actual comic.
Yes, he was. Did you see the DC? Did you see the new one, King of Atlantis?
oh, Throne of Atlantis, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Throne of
I
Atlantis.
haven't watched a DC movie since Under the Red Hood.
That was
Ooh.
badass.
You should
Oh, you gotta-
you should get on that. You should definitely get on that. You're missing a lot. It's like a lot of
Yeah.
good stuff. Like,
The DC animated universe is honestly on par with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is really good.
oh, they're better than Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hands down, they're better than Marvel. They're better than Marvel. The DC animated movies are better than Marvel. Anything animated Marvel comes out with, it's garbage. I mean, Technovore, Rise of Technovore, the anime styles between the actual series and everything else like that, going into Iron Man, Blade, X-Men, was horribly done. It was horribly done. And where DC captures your attention at is something that the DC movies have never done, is take it to a really dark side and make you think like, oh my gosh, these heroes are not actually heroes. They're there to basically maintain the peace between the psychopaths and the I'm going to destroy the whole world because I want to. But I'm going to say this, the last two DC movies, animated DC movies that came out, which was Gods and Monsters and the Throne of Atlantis, were probably subpar compared to what DC animated films have been. And I'm even going to throw in Batman and Robin on that.
Gods and Monsters, I thought it was kind of brilliant because, first of all, you have Bruce Timm, who is responsible for Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond. I mean, he created that whole universe. To see him back in the game, just that alone made me excited, but there was some social commentary in that movie, if you pay attention to, that was really quite brilliant, and I love that it's an Elseworlds tale.
Right.
You don't see that in animation or in movies. It's always been the thing that's been stuck in the comic books, but it's an Elseworlds tale, and Superman being the son of Zod, and Wonder Woman being one of the new gods, Batman being Kirk Langstrom, who in the comic books is Man-Bat.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of brilliant to me, and I understand the confusion. Where some people might watch it and be like, "What the hell am I watching? What's going on? What is this? This isn't the Justice League." But to me, it was really kind of a brilliant take on the Justice League, and I think aside from the main villain that they had to face at the end, it was really a good movie. Like, they should have had a more menacing threat to face.
What was the threat? I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of people give good takes on it, but I haven't seen it. Who was the villain?
Well, it turned out to be one of Kirk Langstrom's college buddies, who was jealous of his girlfriend's love for Kirk, and he basically got a stick up his butt about it, and he used his nanotechnology research to create these robots, basically, to frame the Justice League. And then they end up squaring off at the end once Langstrom figures it out. But it just, in theory and on paper, it works, but at the end of the movie, it wasn't as climactic a battle that I hoped for.
So it was a good. So it was a pretty good movie. It just kind of fell flat.
It did. It fell flat in the end. But up to that point, I was really enjoying it.
That's why I threw it in that category, though. Is because of the ending for Gods and Monsters. That's why I threw it in there. The build-up and everything else like that. The little machinima trailers that they had for each one. Those weren't in the movie.
No, they weren't.
Superman ordeal wasn't in there. Batman's thing was in there. But it's all bonus features. That was all bonus feature stuff.
I think it would have been cool if they worked it into the movie somehow. I think that would have made it a stronger film.
Yeah, most definitely it would have.
I'll tell you one of the better, one of the underrated DC animated movies was Superman versus the Elite. I've never read that comic book, but I'd been recommended.
I like that movie.
Yeah, it was really good. I had never read the book itself, but a couple people had recommended it from the Promenade. They recommended it, said that I should read it, whatnot. And as anyone would know, I'm not a very big Superman fan because I think a lot of people write him wrong. They write him as the the overpowered godlike person, and I don't really get into that. I'm more of the I enjoy the moral, the guy who goes through moral dilemmas and whatnot, and I enjoy that aspect of the character. So when I saw this animated movie, this really blew me away, and I enjoyed it a lot. And it just, the fact that you had all these people that were kind of just giving him the middle finger the whole time, I was just like, wow. And then the world kind of gives him the middle finger and are like, yeah, we don't really need you. I thought it was a very interesting story, and the fact that it was a take from, I guess, like a 1980s story that was already out. I thought it was beautifully done. DC's come out with a lot of really good stuff. Under the Red Hood that was my brother's favorite DC movie, and I think it's probably one of my favorite too. But
so good
for me.
Well, when it comes down to like Batman. Yeah, you got to remember now. Batman's movies have been good. When it falls under DC universe and them focusing on Batman and his stories and everything else like that, minus like dealing with the Justice League and what was it? The Batman, the Supergirl one. Which one was that?
Batman, Superman, Apocalypse.
Right.
Like Batman was more. He was more cocky. He was more determined. He had everything tactically planned when he went to Apocalypse. He knew what he was doing. And Darkseid could not mess with Batman. Whereas Clark Kent, as he said, the Kryptonian would have sacrificed. He wouldn't sacrifice the whole planet just save one person. Even though you've seen Superman reverse time and a whole bunch of other stuff like that, because Superman can do anything. I hate Superman. I don't like Superman. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't like Superman. Like,
me neither.
But speaking of a comic hero that you do like, you and I, my friend Travis, we have not spoken about the season finale of Flash.
What?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
That, my friend.
You want to delve into that?
Yes. You and me, my friend.
The season finale of Flash.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, man.
Well, then earphones, because just earmuffs. That's because this is me and him. This is old school Travis and Vance here.
The Flash season finale was better than Arrow's season finale.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Hands down better than. And when it came down to Flash, and I don't want to spoil anything for you. I really don't. You should go see that. You should be watching. You should have been watched that. But
I got through like half the season. It's just I got school and everything happened. I got out of it. Like the last episode of The Flash I watched,
Oh.
Because I don't have cable. I have Hulu. I was watching Gotham, Flash, and Arrow all at the same time.
Oh,
Right.
Same here.
I would step
But
on
the
my
last
wife.
episode of the Flash, and actually the last episode of the Flash and Arrow I watched was the one before the last one before they did their crossover, and I think it was like December of last year when they did the crossover.
yeah.
You missed a
I'm
lot.
like half the season behind.
Oh,
Yeah, you've missed a lot.
oh,
Oh, I know. I have Facebook, so most of the stuff's spoiled anyways. But it was just like I've watched The Walking Dead. I'm only on season 2, but I already know everybody that dies in seasons 3, 4, 5, and probably 6 because I have Facebook.
Well,
yeah.
I can tell you who dies. I can tell you who dies in the next season of Walking Dead if you would like me to tell you.
It's cold-hearted, Travis.
I mean, I know. I know. If you would like to know who dies in season 6 of Walking Dead after the show, I'll tell you. I will tell you.
All right.
Comment on YouTube if you want to know. I'll tell you.
All right.
Because nobody saw it.
All right, Mike, earmuffs, because this is big boy talk now. All right. All right. I've got to know, what did you think about Eobard Thawne and seeing the fucking Jay Garrick's helmet fly across and fucking all that shit? Because, dude, me, I to see it again for the first time and be shocked, I would step on my wife's neck to watch that again for the first time. I loved it.
What I loved the most about that whole episode, the whole episode, was when you saw that metal helmet and he was like, I gotta go. I gotta go now. That was the best. That was the best part of that whole show, is when you saw that helmet come through that portal and he was like, I gotta go. I gotta go now.
Yep. I love the fact. I love the fact, like an episode or two earlier, when him and Cisco are finally talking, and Cisco's like, he's like, they're talking about how he remembers shit from the other timeline, and he's like, I'm sorry, Cisco, and he's like, what? That you killed me? He's like, no, I'm sure I probably had a good reason. I'm sorry that you remember. And I'm just like, I love how callous he was in that whole thing, because I love
so passive. He was so passive about it, and like in the original universe is like you're like a son to me, and it's like this one is like, all right, well, you found out, now it's like I really don't care about you, I really don't. I kind of had feelings for you, but now I don't. I really don't anymore. You're like the ex-girlfriend that you don't want to see ever again in life, and she happens to show up one time, and you're like, oh hey, how's it going? You're there. That's great.
Like
You're
some of us
still alive? Okay. I'm glad to see you're breathing. But the season finale of Flash led so many open doors and so many, because when he went back, when he went back and he saw himself and like that whole, are you serious? That means you've already done it. What timeline were you working on? What timeline were you working on where you've already done this and you went back and you was like, no, you can't let it happen.
Yeah, the thing I liked most about the season finale was the fact that, like, I don't know, like, I was really scared of the fact that when they got rid of the season, or they got rid of you saw him disguised and whatnot, the Reverse Flash, and I was like, shit, I hope they don't get rid of Tom Cavanaugh, or Cavanaugh, like, whatever his name is. The guy that plays him, and, the actor that plays the Reverse Flash, like, I'm a real big fan of his, and, the fact that he's coming back to it, so I was really glad to see that. But I was glad that he got so much interaction with all these characters, and he had that moment with Cisco that was like, "Hey, I really do see you. Like, I really enjoyed the time that we all have spent doing these things. That I don't hate Barry. I've grown with you guys. As like, I'm not that evil person." And it's like, even after all this, you really don't know what his motivations are still. You don't really know if you can fully trust him when he says something. Like, you don't trust him, but you don't know why you don't trust him. And it's just, again, it's so, like, he's like a bad guy, car salesman, you know? Like, you don't trust him, but you don't know why you don't trust him, you know? And I love that about him, you know?
I would like that in a lot of villains actually. It's like I feel like I can I feel like I can trust this guy to save my life, but in actuality, you know he's a bad guy. I like how they did that with Thorn and
What's that? What just happened? Everything went silent.
Yeah, my bad. What's up, man? Seriously, shut up.
I think we need to hand it over to Lady Rage here for a second.
Anyway, when it comes down to Thorn and season 2 is going to be phenomenal for Flash, and I can't wait for it to actually, get back and up and started, because before that they're going to do that whole Vandal Savage thing, where
That's going to be dope.
I like the guy that got playing Vandal Savage.
Now, who's the Blue Flash? Because isn't there like a Blue Flash that's coming to? I know Wally West is coming, and then I saw there's a Blue Flash that's supposed to be coming. There's, let's see, what is it? I'm not sure. There's so much. Let's see, what is it? There's a Blue Flash, Cobalt Blue or something. I'm not sure, Travis. Who is? Fuck. I'm not sure, Travis. Who's the Blue Flash?
Hey guys,
Yeah, what's up, lady?
I need to do shout-outs real quick, if that's okay.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We have pages that share us as well as groups. Vance, you want to go ahead and give your group a shout-out and anything else that you need?
Sure. I'd like to give a shout out to the Promenade. You guys can find us on Facebook. Just type in Promenade, PROMENADE. Type it in, join us. We geek out about anything from Doctor Who to Star Trek, Star Wars, video games, pretty much anything. Just come talk geek. We're a family-friendly group. We're pretty laid back, so come join, geek out with us. Also like to give a shout out to Starbase Studios. We do a lot of fan films for Star Trek. Most notably Starship Valiant, which you can go type that in YouTube. Type in Starship, one word, Valiant. And if you want to see Z-grade celebrity Vance Major in, I'm in the special edition of Starship Valiant Legacy. So check that out. But yeah, those are all the shout outs I have. So that's it.
Alrighty, then I want to say thank you to the pages, following pages, I should say, which are Death Comes Swiftly, The Rabbit Hole, Bad, Good, Ugliest, or Us, Lady Venom's Lair, Gamers Geekery, Geek Gamers United, Xbox 360 Bars Players Only, I Love Batman, Intergalactic Geek Alliance, The Batcave by Intergalactic Geek Alliance, Avengers by Intergalactic Geek Alliance. And you can also find us on Facebook at Gamers Geek Radio, Gamers Geek TV, YouTube, of course, Gamers Geek Radio. What is it called? Twitter. You can find us there.
Twitter.
Gamers Geek Radio, all caps. I'm crazy, I love my caps. But I want to say thank you also to another group, the DCS Gaming Group. I love you guys. These are awesome people. Check them out. And go ahead, guys. I'm done. Unless somebody else has a shout out they want to do or need to do.
Anybody?
The show.
Okay.
All right.
Blue Flash, Malcolm Thawne, supposedly to be, they have two different, all right, Blue Flash origin story gets complicated throughout the timeline of the Speed Force, because one, You have one where he's Cobalt Blue, which is Barry Allen's twin brother, who was taken from birth, raised by the Thawne family in abusive homes, and then he became evil. Then you have Cobalt, where is after Barry Allen's death, took up the mantle after Wally West basically ran his life force out. That's from the comic book side of the whole situation. Now, from the show being the way the show is going on the CW, The Flash, if they were to introduce the Blue Flash, I would have to say it'd be Cisco.
Really? You don't think he would be Vibe?
Well, because the fact of the matter is that Cisco was Vibe from the comics, but they're not, because in the original timeline, back when the tsunami hit, Captain Cold and not Pirate, what's the dude's name?
You're thinking of Heatwave, right?
Yeah, Heatwave. No, when the tsunami was about to hit and Barry Allen revealed himself to
The Wizard Wizard?
the girl. Yeah, no, yeah. When the Weather Wizard was about to make the tsunami and everything else like that, when Barry Allen revealed himself to Eris, that timeline has Captain Cold and him working together. The timeline that they went to now is entirely different from that one because the city, there was no Weather Wizard. There was no problems there.
Right.
In fact, to the ending of everything else. So you actually don't know exactly what Cisco's role is going to be because that significant event that would have made him Vibe didn't happen.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I still kind of think he's going to be Vibe because like he was still able to see like the alternate timelines and whatnot, and I think the creators already said that they're going to go down that route. So I don't know.
Blue Flash also has that ability too.
Oh really?
Yeah. In the comic book, in the comic book Flash, Blue Flash has the ability to see interdimensional planes of the Speed Force, just like Vibe does.
This is why I need you in my life, Travis, because I don't know these. See, you are my Flash expert. I did not know this. I just thought it was bad coloring, and I just was, okay, Blue Flash, got it, okay. See, this is why I need you.
I mean,
I just thought he did, a load of bad laundry. That's.
No, there's actually a Blue Flash. There's Blue Cobalt. There's a lot of speedsters that come after Wally West and Barry Allen passed their mantle. Besides Kid Flash, I don't want to get into Kid Flash. I really don't because that went into left field really quick because it combined Kid Flash and Zoom Zoom was a good guy at one point in time. Like, what? How? My mind hurts.
That's not even mentioning Impulse, right?
Yeah. Young Justice. They need to bring that back. Yeah, Impulse became, Kid Flash.
Well, they are doing the live-action Teen Titans here soon.
I don't know how that's going to work out. I feel like that's going to be more drama than actual, hero-esque.
I'll give it a shot because most of the accounting Netflix, most of the superhero TV shows the last few years have really been on point with, Arrow. My mom likes Arrow, and she doesn't even like comic book stuff. She loves Arrow. She watched I had DVR'd the first episode of the second season. She's like, I like this. This is like Batman. But I was like, they've been on point. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from after Winter Soldier on has been really good. I almost quit watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. until Winter Soldier happened. And then that whole
I'm still not watching
Hydra thing
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I love Marvel.
Yeah, and like I said, Daredevil the TV show was amazing. I just finished it a few days ago. Arrow's been really good. Flash was amazing. Legends of Tomorrow looks awesome. Supergirl looks really good. I got a friend of mine. She's really, really, really hyped for Supergirl. So I know it's going to be on. I know there's probably going to be more drama on. They're going to call it Titans because it's supposed to be on TNT. So there's probably going to be some sort of drama. But I think if I'm correct, it's made by the same people that did Arrow and Flash and Supergirl. So if it's from those same people, just from their track record alone, I'll give it a shot because I know what they can do.
Mike, let me ask you a question. I watched all of Gotham, and after I was, pulled out the ice picks from my eyes, what did you think of the series as a whole? Because I kind of felt like they crammed 8 episodes into like 24 episodes, it just, I really felt like there wasn't a lot there, and I walked away disappointed and pissed off. What did you think
Of what show?
of Gotham?
No, Gotham, like, I get what, no, what, I'll give them points because I get what they're trying to do, because what they're trying to do with Gotham is show that, hey, the whole Batman mythology with Gotham City and everything, so they're trying to show people, hey, there's more than just Batman in Gotham City. I do disagree. I mean, like I said, Gotham's taken a lot of liberties, because with Batman and Catwoman being friends since they were kids, Poison Ivy being the little kid, the Riddler working for the police department, all these things that don't flow with the initial Batman mythology. It's one of those. To me, I think Gotham is an acquired taste. Like the show itself, I think is an acquired taste. You're either gonna like it or you're not. There's not gonna be any happy medium. But I do think that I keep wanting to call him Commissioner Gordon because whatever, but not Gordon. Easily my favorite character in that show, and a lot of people agree, is the Penguin. I think the Penguin is absolutely amazing in Gotham.
Yeah.
Best character on the show, hands down. Like the way he does that, and what threw me is I watch a crap load of movies, and I was just watching Accepted a couple months ago. It was that one Justin Long movie where he opens his own college. The Penguin's in that movie, and it blew my mind. Like I don't know if you guys, I don't know the last time you guys have seen that movie, but it was the one where the kid with the blonde hair, his initials were ADD. He's a real hyper kid. And I was like, wait a minute, that could. And I was like, holy crap, that's the Penguin is on this movie I've been watching for. I've seen the movie a handful of times and didn't register. So just to see what he can do as like the jittery, shaky kid, and then you watch what his gradual, like what I like is that they're not everybody that starts. They're gradually, like some people are developing slower than others on Gotham. But I do like that they are trying to develop everybody. Like as big of a universe as just the Batman universe is immense. There's so many characters, and I think the main problem with Gotham is I'm still going to watch it. I think it's a great show, and I like that they're trying to do another wrinkle or another spin on Batman. What they're trying to do is that they have Gordon, his wife, the Riddler, Penguin, Poison Ivy, maybe more. They don't know yet. Maybe this guy's going to be the Joker. You got Batman. You got Alfred. You got Catwoman. You got all these people, and what they're trying to do with a show this big, with a cast that big, is they're trying to develop everybody's character at the exact same time, but they only have, not counting commercials, they got 45 minutes a week to develop 15 people. Some people are going to get lost in the shuffle, and you're not going to be able to develop people the way you want to develop them.
See, what I think the problem with the show is, I feel that the show has a lot of strong elements to it. Like you mentioned, the Penguin is one of them. Great actor. Usually, I don't like the Penguin as a character. I think he kind of is written flat in a lot of areas. When the character is written right, like when he's written as the club owner of the Iceberg Lounge, I think he's written good. Or when he's kind of written as a behind-the-scenes character, kind of like an informant, I think he's written properly. That's a way to use the character properly. And so they're kind of going down that route, and the actor portrays that really well. And so he's probably one of the better, well, not better, but one of the more interesting characters on the show, and one of the characters that's done right. What I think the show lacks is, and the show, as it progresses, it's shown more and more, is it doesn't really know what it wants to be. I mean, one episode it's a crime drama, one episode it's this, another episode it's a drama fully, another episode it's this. And
Mhm.
what really is kind of trippy about it is one episode will start off a crime drama and it will end as something else, and it's like I don't think it's intentionally that way. I think it's too many hands in the pot trying to steer it to see, oh, let's make it this way, oh no, let's make it this way. And I think the series suffers from not knowing what it wants to necessarily be. And I think they have a lot of great elements, but I just don't think it has a clear vision on what it wants to be. Whereas like with Daredevil, it had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and by the time it got to the end of the story, you knew where the characters were, and by the time we get to season 2, when they put it on Netflix, you'll have that able to tell the story of where they're going and then end that part of the story. Whereas with Gotham, I think Gotham started off as maybe a 15 episode run, and then they extended it to 20, and then they extended it to 22, and then they extended it to 24. Like when you keep extending it, well then you got to put in filler episodes, and it really shows. And I think that really hurt the show. Where I think like with Legends of Tomorrow, like they actually put the budget they have, I think, budget for 24 episodes, but they actually only gave themselves like 15 episodes, I think, so that they could have a bigger budget for each episode. And I think that's really smart, because it's like you want to give yourself a bigger budget, you want to give yourself more freedom to tell a better story. And you can't do that when you worry about counting pennies. And it's the same way with storytelling. You want to give yourself a better story feel instead of let's cram more episodes. It's just, I think it really hurt the series, because for me, it really turned me off, because I was watching the last episode going, I have no idea what the hell happened the whole show. Again, some people loved Fish. Me, I was like, what was the point of her character, And there are some people who were like diehard Fish fans. That sounded
But
really...
I laughed because I read an article that said before the show even started, she only said, I'm only going to be on for one season. So I really didn't invest myself into her because I knew she wasn't going to last. She even said before the show started, I'm a one-season character. So if you know that character's not going to be there, you're not going to invest your time and emotions into a character if you know they're not going to last.
Well, it's when I first came on GGR, that was one thing Travis and I were talking about. In fact, I remember the direct quote I said exactly. She reminds me of a 1966 Batman movie villain. Him and me were talking about the TV show because we were talking about that. Even though her character was only one season long, personally, I would never have said that in an interview, because I think that really hurts the show. I think you should be like, oh, you never know. If someone says, well, you're only contracted for one season. Personally, I would never say that unless it's like after the fact. Yeah, I was only one season and that was it. But like when you set yourself up for I'm only one season, it's like, why would you say that? Like, it's just.
One of the articles I read, because I was really hyped, because I'm like you are with Superman, I am with Batman. Anything with Batman, I'm down. And I'm reading an article about, with new characters, let's see what they are, what their motivations are. And they say, oh, well, she's going to be a club owner that the next Penguin's going to be. And they're like, oh, but you know what Penguins eat? Winky face. So I'm like, okay, so you've already told me, one, she's not going to be on a season, and then you basically told me what's going to happen to her in an article before the show even starts. Why do I need to care about her?
Right. Travis, you were going to say something about Fish?
Yeah, Fish Mooney. Because I read this, I know the article, and I know the tweet scandal that happened because of her saying, "Hey, I'm going to be only in Gotham for one season." It didn't. The thing about it is, it didn't actually hurt the show because people sat there and they watched more of the show. The ratings actually went up because of that message that went out. That's why she wasn't like fined or any. There was no actual backlash for Jada Smith for doing that. It was more of a positive thing than a negative thing. I understand both sides of it, but it turned out to be a positive thing because after that tweet had gone out, it happened to be the two episode. It was a two-parter episode that came out, and both of those beat the episodes for the whole season actually. Like what? I want to say like by a $5,000 viewership increase
Uh-huh.
that had happened after that tweet for the first show. Then it was 10,000 by the second show. And people became more invested into Jada Smith's role because they found out she's only going to be in for one season. It was like, oh, Jada Smith is going to get killed? I want to see this.
Ah, so it's more like got to soak it up as much as you can while it's here. I got you.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that.
It's like
All
watching
right.
two back.
Well, we've got 15 minutes left of the show. The last thing, and this is going to be the meat of the story. We talked about it earlier. We're going to flip it around and talk about it again. What are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four?
I haven't seen it yet. I plan to just because I watch everything based on comic books. I have this kind of strange feeling that no matter how bad it might be, it's still not going to be as bad as Man-Thing.
Was that a movie? Was that out?
Oh yeah, it came out. Lionsgate put it out direct to video.
Really?
Really?
Oh wow!
Not lying about that.
No, it was a sci-fi original.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I gotta get this. That's better than Sharknado. Oh man.
Did you see Sharknado 3?
I
Not
want.
yet.
The way I see it is when you base a movie off of a movie that nobody wanted to see in the first place, and you just keep making franchises off that, you just keep going as much as you can, man.
I
That's...
love sci-fi for that. I really do.
Redneck Gators.
You gotta give them credit because those
like Redneck
movies get a lot of viewers.
Yeah.
But Vance, Fantastic Four, you've seen it.
Yes, I have.
What would you say about it?
All right. Well, like I was telling you guys before the show, the whole thing about it was, it's basically the first hour of the movie is kind of build up, and then you get to the last 15 minutes, and it's a long fucking movie. I mean, it's long, and I don't mind long movies. I think Age of Ultron was a pretty long movie, and it went for me, it went by pretty quick. This movie, it just dragged. You didn't get to see any of the superhero stuff for the first hour of the movie, and like I said before the show, when you do a superhero movie, you want to do the origin, and about maybe 20-25 minutes, that's when you want to start getting into the superhero action-y stuff. You want to start getting into the heroics of it. You know, you want to start telling your story, because honestly, that's why you're there. You want to see the tights, the cape, the punching, the biff bamboo. You want to start getting into it.
Absolutely.
When you start looking at your watch, that's a bad sign in a movie. Now, I looked at my watch, and it was an hour into the movie, and then you started seeing some of the stuff of superhero stuff, and it was just like, oh my god, really? Well, finally, Dr. Doom shows up, and I look at my watch, or my phone, and I'm like, oh god. The fight lasted probably about maybe 10 minutes, 15 at the most.
Oh, jeez.
And then it's done. And it abruptly stops. And it's like a phone conversation. Like if you ever talking to someone, like imagine this. Like say you're having phone sex with your girl, and all of a sudden like you get a dropped call, and then you got blue balls the rest of the night. Like that's kind of what this is. Like that's what this movie gave me. So forgive me if I'm not supposed to say that type of stuff, lady. I apologize. But that's kind of what this movie gave me. I understand why everybody was so pissed off about this movie. Because everybody in this movie, either they felt like they weren't trying, or they were, it's just, I don't know. The movie was just blah. Like, they had a lot of great elements. Like, the actors were trying. They had great actors, but the director just didn't seem to care. The scriptwriter didn't seem to care. The studio didn't seem to care. Like, nobody seemed to care. So at that point, when the movie ended, I was like, why the hell do I care? And me, like a sucker, I stayed through the credits. There were no after-scene credits, no nothing. There was no Stan Lee cameo, which, again, that right there was a dead giveaway of no Stan Lee cameo? What the hell is this? You know, so it's like I went into the movie and I had seen reviews.
I say nothing.
What's that now?
If there's no Stan Lee in the movie, then there's no faith in that movie.
Exactly, and that was my mentality as well, right? But the whole thing about it was, you know, like I went to this movie because I had seen on the promenade, I had seen that this movie was like, I think this movie had a 10% rating and Batman and Robin had like an 11% rating. So I thought, oh, this movie is worse than Batman and Robin. I gotta go see this movie. This is great. And so I went into it thinking, well, if I have the mentality of at least it can't be that bad. Let me go in with an open mind. And I really go in with an open mind because, again, watching so many movies, and especially the fact that I'm an executive producer on so many movies now, you know, you got to watch movies and pick the good out of the bad. You know, it's like you can't sit there and just torpedo everything, you know, or listen to other people's opinions. You got to form your own. So I went into this thinking, okay, I gotta form my own opinion. And I watched this, and critically, I was just like, no, this does not work on so many levels. And like I said earlier, you know, before the show, it's like when you make an omelet, you got all these great ingredients, and someone just screws your omelet up. That's exactly what this movie felt like. It had a lot of great elements, but none of it worked. And when you taste it, you're just like, glad. You don't even want it.
Well,
You know?
it's pretty clear that watching that movie gave you some choice words to say about it.
Yeah, like everything everything it's true. Like, don't see the movie. Well, actually, no, see the movie, so then you can form your own opinion. Like, honestly, I would recommend.
I mean, in no way, shape, form does Geeks Radio promote any type of illicit, any way that you could possibly see this movie without paying for it. We do not condone that. But, yeah, movie tickets kind of expensive, so if you can, I'd do it.
Just wait for cable, guys.
Just saying.
If you
I'm
have,
not going to watch it at
You
all.
have $11 to blow. If you have $11 to go to a movie and you want to see a horrible movie, go see Fantastic Four.
if you happen to see a cracked back door open to a theater, you know, by chance, go
If
see
somebody
it.
wants to pay for it and they can let you in through the exit door, you know.
Yeah. If somebody loses a bet and has to take you to a movie, you know, on their dime, you know, yeah. I would recommend, honestly, go see it for yourself and form your own opinion, just so you can say, yeah, that was a piece of crap. But honestly, no, go into it knowing it's pretty bad. And like I know a lot of people who have seen it. Nobody has had anything good to say except for like maybe 2 people. Now I have 4,700 people on my friends list. Out of those, only 2 people have said good things about it. 2 out of 4,700. 2.
That's a pretty minimal margin.
Yeah, that's bad. So, you know, again, it's just I went and I made my own opinion, and my opinion conforms, but I didn't conform. So, you know, again, yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's
Oh, I won't watch it whatsoever, even if it's free on TV or anything. I won't watch it
If
because
it's free on TV, I might watch it.
no, I'll change the channel. I'll watch Raging Cajun Redneck Gators because I know that's a good movie.
Here's the thing. Fantastic Four had a lot of good eye candy. Visually, it was a good movie. It had a lot of good visuals to it. It really did.
The Thing looked like the rock monster from from Neverland Beyond or Time, whatever the heck that movie
Never-ending
was.
story.
Yeah, Never-ending Story. There you go. That's what the Thing looked like.
See, here's a element to the story that really kind of pissed me off. Ben Grimm helps Reed Richards build this teleport machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're kids. Fast forward like 20 years or however long it is later on in the movie. Like Reed Richards is working and builds this teleport machine, and he's working for, you know, whatever, the government, whatever. I forget, because really this movie was mind-numbing, because I'm like, oh god, this is terrible. But anyway, never does the government, you know, the government or whatever, like, is making Reed Richards work for them. But they never asked Ben, and I'm like, wait, but Ben was kind of your co-pilot on that. He was your partner. Why aren't they making him too? So he forgets his friend, and again, it's like, dude, you're a jerk. Like, so it's shit like that where it's like it conveniently leaves out plot points just for later on. You know, it just, I don't know, it doesn't pick up any of those things. Like Johnny and Sue, by no means do you ever really get that they're brother and sister. And for me, I pick up on those things. It's like, I don't want you to tell me. I want to see these things. I want to feel these things. And the story, it goes into so much exposition, and it tells you what you're supposed to think. And, you know, as a filmmaker myself, you know, making films, it's not just exposition. It's supposed to be a video, you know, and audio. You're supposed to hear things. You're supposed to know things, not just be told. Otherwise, you might as well pick up a book. So this movie fails on so many levels, but it's great eye candy. I mean, if you want great screensavers, this is your movie. But that's not the $11 I wanted to spend. So that's my stance on that. So.
All fair points. I think
That's entirely valid. Speaking of, 15-minute fight. Are we done? No?
All right, guys. Well, I think we got 3 minutes left. Did you guys want to end it, or are we good to go? What, you guys want to shout-outs or something, or?
You guys want to go ahead and give any shout-outs if you need to, or go ahead and round off and start saying goodbye?
Well, for anybody watching from the Citadel, thank you. Anybody else?
Well, I do like Sunny Delight, so if they're watching, send me stuff.
Shameless
I'd
plug.
like to give a shout out to Icebreakers because they have kept my throat from being parched this entire time.
Send us free stuff.
I won't be mooching off of our fans, so I just want to say to the co-hosts and all of you guys, Travis, Grim, Mike, Lady, I really enjoyed doing the show. I enjoyed tonight. After the work week I had last week, I enjoyed doing this with you guys. I always enjoy doing the show. Much love, much respect. I always enjoy doing this shit with you guys. So, I mean,
Do you usually
yeah.
get challenges in the Star game?
I've never heard that.
Between the halves? Because it resets at the half.
Well, I'm Travis, the Merc with the Mouth. This movie, Deadpool comes out February 12th. It's probably like the most exciting movie I'm looking forward to. Marvel's first rated R movie. Go see it. That you spend $11. I'll spend $33 on it actually. Give me 3D glasses and see it twice.
And with that $33 share, this is Lady Rage signing off. Good night.